It was a cold and gray morning in downtown Los Angeles. The streets were waking up, coffee carts hissing steam, car horns echoing, and the smell of rain clinging to the air. On the corner of an old gas station sat Jake, a homeless man who had seen better days. His face was lined with hardship, his clothes tattered, but his eyes still carried a faint spark of kindness that life hadn't managed to take away. He counted the coins in his trembling hand. $8. That was all he had left to his name. It wasn't much, but he was saving it for a hot meal, maybe a sandwich and coffee to keep him warm through the night. As people rushed past, not one person looked at him. Jake was used to being invisible. Across the street, a group of bikers pulled up. Their engines roared, the ground slightly trembling beneath them. Among them was a tall man with a long beard and a leather jacket with the words "Hell's Angels" stitched across the back. Jake watched curiously as the man parked near the gas pump and started refueling his motorcycle. Moments later, the biker began patting his pockets, his expression shifting from calm to frustration. "Damn it," the biker muttered. "I must have dropped my wallet back at the diner." Jake's heart tightened. He knew that feeling, the helplessness of having nothing. Without thinking twice, he stood up, walked over, and pulled out his wrinkled $8. "Hey man," he said softly, "you can use this. It ain't much, but it'll get you some gas." The biker turned, clearly surprised. "You're offering me your money?" he asked, glancing at Jake's worn-out clothes. Jake smiled faintly. "Yeah, looks like you need it more right now." For a long moment, the biker just stared at him, trying to understand why a man with nothing would still choose to give. "You sure about this?" he asked again. Jake nodded. "We all get stuck sometimes. Maybe one day someone will help me too." The biker accepted the money reluctantly, his voice rough with emotion. "What's your name?" "Jake. Jake." "I'm Mason," the biker said, shaking his hand firmly. "You didn't have to do this, but I won't forget it." Mason started his bike and rode off, the roar fading into the city's hum. Jake stood there watching him go, feeling oddly at peace. He had no food, no home, and no safety, but he had done something good. That night, Jake returned to his usual spot under the old bridge. The city lights flickered above, and the sound of distant traffic lulled him into thought. He clutched his jacket tighter against the chill, stomach empty but heart warm. As he drifted to sleep, he whispered to himself, "Maybe kindness still matters." Little did Jake know that one small act, the moment he gave away his last $8, would set into motion something far bigger than he could ever imagine. Tomorrow, everything would change. The next morning began like any other for Jake. The sound of passing cars, the sting of cold air against his skin, and the ache of hunger gnawing in his stomach. He stretched beneath the bridge and rubbed his tired eyes. The city was already buzzing with life, but to him, every day looked the same, until suddenly it didn't. In the distance he heard it, the deep, thunderous rumble of motorcycle engines. Not one or two, but dozens. The sound grew louder, echoing through the streets like a rolling storm. Jake sat up confused, squinting toward the main road. Within minutes, over 100 bikers came into view, all wearing the same leather jackets with the unmistakable Hell's Angels insignia gleaming under the morning sun. People nearby stopped to stare, whispering in awe and fear. The convoy slowed to a stop right in front of Jake's bridge. Engines idled, and one by one, the bikers dismounted. Jake's heart pounded. "What's happening?" he whispered to himself. From the center of the crowd, a familiar face emerged. Mason, the biker he had helped the day before. He was smiling now, holding something in his hands, a brand new leather jacket and a white envelope. "Jake," Mason called out, his deep voice echoing. "Remember me?" Jake blinked, standing slowly. "Yeah, Mason, right? You found your wallet?" Mason chuckled. "No, man, I found something better. I found a friend." The bikers laughed softly, and Mason continued, "When I told my brothers what you did, giving your last $8 to help me, they couldn't believe it. So we all decided to return the favor." He stepped closer and handed Jake the jacket. It had his name embroidered on the front. "You're one of us now, brother." Mason said proudly. Jake's eyes welled with tears. I don't understand. Come outside, Mason said with a grin. Jake followed him out into the sunlight, and there, parked beside the road, was a small camper van, freshly painted and stocked with supplies. Behind it, several bikers were unloading boxes, food, clothes, even a new pair of boots. This is for you, Mason said. A place to sleep, to live and start fresh. We even talked to a buddy of ours. He's giving you a job at his auto shop. You help people, Jake. It's our turn now. Jake's hands trembled as he took in the sight. The crowd of bikers cheered, clapping and revving their engines in celebration. The noise filled the air, not as chaos, but as brotherhood, as love. Tears streamed down Jake's face. He could barely speak. I just wanted to help, he whispered. Mason smiled and put a hand on his shoulder. And that's exactly why you deserve this. As the engines roared once again, Jake slipped on the leather jacket. For the first time in years, he didn't feel homeless. He felt like he belonged. In that moment, surrounded by 300 bikers and the sound of thunderous engines, Jake realized something powerful. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can echo louder than any roar in the world.